All right, guys, don't adjust your screens. We are looking at a Grand Seiko. I have a Grand Seiko in my hands here, and we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to talk about it in a positive light because this is one of my favorites. This one and, a couple of the other colorways. When this one came out, it really grabbed my attention. There's some newer models out, too, that definitely have my attention. A little bit bigger size that works better for me. But this one is still, it like flirts with that Goldilocks size, even for me and definitely for people with smaller wrist. So I have to say big thanks to Keith for allowing me to check this out. Unfortunately, this is being removed from Keith's collection, so more on that later. Grand Seiko SBGN003. You can see the seconds hand is ticking. This is the 9F86 GMT Quartz plus minus 10 seconds accuracy. Oh, per year. Did I mention that? Per year. Guys, the accuracy on this is incredible. So case size 39.5 millimeter, the lug to lug 45.5. The one time where it's really going to help me out, and maybe some of you guys, with the fixed center links on this bracelet, extend the lug to lug to essentially 49 millimeter. I absolutely need that with this watch. 45.5 is just too short. That really helps, and I'll show you here in the wrist shot soon. Thickness only 12.25 millimeter thick. Very thin. I'm pretty sure I measure this at 19 millimeter. So, but I mean, really, it's going to live on the bracelet. I don't see this going anywhere else. The bracelet is really good. The clasp, but it does taper down to 18. You do have half links. Yeah, you have half links on both sides. That helps. I could see where you'd be in a position potentially with a wrist size that it's going to be hard to find a good fit. I think I found a good fit for it right now. I did add a link from what Keith had sent over. The way this size is, it's kind of difficult to see here, but there's tiny screws. Okay, there's these pins. These pins go in and they hold the bracelet links together, but you have to capture the pin. You capture the pin by a tiny screw on this side and a tiny screw on that side. So you can remove them independently of one another. They're not tied to the pin, but you need to have a space where you're not going to lose those little screws. And you're going to want some little tweezers, steady hand, and good lights, that sort of thing. So, or just take it somewhere and have it done. So that covers, pretty much covers the watch. I don't know. Do we need to say anything else? Yeah, we'll say a couple other things. 100 meter water resist, screw down crown, right? Yeah, I think it has a screw down crown. Yeah, it has a screw down crown. Signed. The crown is only 6 millimeter, kind of petite, but still easy to function. We zoom in a little bit here. You can see that ink black gloss dial. You can see that amazing finish on the dial, the handset, the indices, the watch case, everywhere. The attention to detail is just above and beyond. It's off the charts. So how clean the tick is on that thing. So framed out date window at 3 o'clock. A little bit of Loom on this. We'll do a Loom shot at the end. You have a fixed bezel there with a 24-hour indicator so you can track that second time zone. So in this first position, you're not going to do anything. It's just hanging out there. You have to go one position. If I can get one position. Then you can do the jump hour. So it is a true traveler's GMT. So without upsetting the time, so if I travel, in time zones one way or the other, I can just boop, boop, and I'm there. And I keep my home time. And the accuracy of that plus minus 10 seconds is not affected. So very well done indeed. This movement is not a regular quartz movement. I borderline wish they had a display case back. The case back on this is pretty cool, but it's the one time that I wouldn't mind actually seeing the quartz movement. Other than seeing the battery, the rest of it is kind of a gold color. It's it's laid out like methodically, the way they work on them, the way they assemble them and potentially adjust them. It has 9 jewels. It's a quartz movement that's meant to be serviced. Now the service time on it is like crazy long. I think the lifespan of it is probably longer than a human lifespan. But the battery life on it, you're going to expect to change the battery every 3 years. Probably going to want to have it, water depth, the water resistant, the gaskets checked or replaced. maybe every 3 years. Probably a good investment if you plan to use this as a true sports watch, or maybe you can skip one interval. I'm not sure what kind of gaskets they're using, but it's not something you really want to compromise on a expensive watch like this. So you want to take that extra investment in your luxury product. So these new were $3,200. I think you can still get them new at $3,200. On the used market, I expect to pay probably around $2,100, maybe even a little bit more. So I think I did find some that had sold at the $2,100 price point. So amazing finish, excellent size watch for a lot of people. Quartz movement, grab and go. This is like an everyday wear, sports, semi-dress, casual, whatever you want to do. It's anti-magnetic to like 4,800 Gauss or something like that. Probably not going to get messed up or being around magnets. The clasp would probably be my only gripe because there's no micro adjust. It's just a simple fold over. It's clean looking, but it doesn't really fit the vibe of the watch. I feel the watch warranted a better clasp, which the newer Grand Seikos have the better clasp. It has the micro adjust. Can we swap them out? I don't know. Maybe I'll look into that. But I got it fitted, you know, where it works. It works. You just got to wear it a little bit loose. But yeah, it works on my 7¼ inch wrist. It looks fine, I think. Feels great. And looks and feels premium, like a luxury watch. Well, because it is. It's a luxury watch. It's an affordable luxury watch. If you're talking, you know, luxury watch world, Grand Seiko does have some affordable models. They have been steady raising their prices, or new released models are more expensive, I should say. So when you look back at these and you see that you can pick these up for 32, well, 32 new, but you can pick these up for around $2,000. It should have your attention, guys, especially if your wrist can support it. If you're 7¼ inch wrist or smaller, definitely check these out. I like this one probably the most. The limited one had a yellow chapter down here, and I think that was plus minus like 5 seconds a year. But I kind of like the black with the orange. You know me. All right, let's kill the lights and check the Loom. There is Loom. It is good Seiko Loom. It's just they don't have a ton of Loom on it. So you can clearly see it, the hour, minute, GMT, and the indices, but it's not like a Seiko dive watch or anything like that. It's not crazy like that. But look at the light play. Even on those hands, the way that finishing is on there. I mean, this is a dark room. Look at, hopefully you're seeing that. The light play on the indices and the hands. You're not going to get that on any other watches, guys. The finishing on the Grand Seikos is incredible. Here it is next to a 5KX, just for size reference. And I went plenty long enough. So, if you're interested in this watch, let me know. Info in the description. When it's gone, it's gone.